So we actually have a little timer too of our live thing in the top corner, so we can see that too as well.
Mm-hmm.
The little eyeball shows how many people are watching. Of course, we just seen this to nobody, so probably nobody gonna hop on. But if they do, we have to entertain them or whatever like that.
We'll be ready.
So, all right. So what's the first one we talking about today? First topic.
Let's get right into the Twitter and Mr. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk buys Twitter for $43 billion a week after Twitter declined to allow him to buy more stocks in Twitter because they folded.
Yeah, so when I read it, I thought he bought like he owned it 100%, but he's the majority stockholder.
Yeah. I mean, like, it could be really interesting on what he does with it or what he decides to do with it as the major stockholder. But I also, there's a part of me thinks that, like you said, like even though he has connections within the government, he also operates outside the government. So as far as like what this could come out to, I feel like I don't really, until he does something, I don't really see like an issue with it as of right now. Like people are
Yeah, he's
scared, like,
supposed to
oh,
be
he's gonna like
big in the.
what was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say he was supposed to be big in the free speech, and I think Twitter
Yeah,
tried to ban, like kind of shut him down on some stuff that he was saying with Tesla. So now this is supposed to be the free speech platform where you can say what you want and ain't a lot of people checking in and all this other stuff. But
yeah. So you're not
we
supposed to
shall
be able
see.
to, like you said, he doesn't want any of his like haters to go away. Like he said, people are still gonna put negative comments under my tweets. Like that's not stop because you can say whatever you want. Just like I said, I don't really know what the bad is gonna be, what he's gonna do wrong as far as it. But people scared. He's like, oh, he's gonna like change the elections. I'm like, as long as Buddy doesn't run, then I feel like that's the only time you could be like, maybe you can't control this platform if you're like running for president. But as long as he says run, like I said, as long as he doesn't like SpaceX, Tesla, like this Neuralink thing that he got going over the satellite stuff, like if as long as he does pretty much be like a little playboy billionaire dude, like I feel like you can have this app. Like if he made it, I mean, he made Tesla. Like it's not like he can't
Right.
control all the Teslas right now. Like
You
snapping a
got
finger, he
that.
could
You got
probably turn
SpaceX.
50 of those off. Like he could go to space if he wanted to any day of the week. So it's like at the end of the day, it's not like this dude didn't have control or to do whatever he wanted in a sense.
Facts. It'll
Well,
be interesting. I don't.
Trump. Okay.
Go ahead.
I I was mentioning Trump. True Social stock plunged 44% after he announced that he bought it, and then he said, "Well," and then I guess reports are saying that Trump is saying he's not going to get back on, and a lot of people was like, "Yeah, right, he's going to get back on." So it's going to be an interesting swing of events, especially if he runs for office. And then I did read that he was a shareholder, but how does that work? Like,
Now,
Money.
who's a shareholder?
uh,
Now, who's a shareholder?
Elon, like you
Yeah,
said, he didn't buy.
he's the majority. He didn't buy the company. He's the majority shareholder right now.
So that's
So
how
anytime,
you muscle them by putting more money than they got. But because he took out a
right?
loan, he took out a loan for that.
Yeah, but billionaire companies take out loans even though they got billions of dollars anyway.
No, I'm saying,
Right.
but he took out a loan to buy the business. I read.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what they do. So most of his money isn't in cash. It's in
assets.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So
That
anytime he
rocket.
needs money, right, you just go to the bank and say, "Hey, I want to buy Twitter. I need 44 billion," and they're like, "Well, you're worth 260. Your company's probably worth 3 trillion. You good for it? Here you go."
Like I
Yeah.
said, like Apple or like and like big companies do it all the time. Like for example, like Microsoft, they be buying like smaller, like video game type companies all the time because like, oh, we own Xbox, so like if we buy all the people who make games for those people, like then like we'll get discounts and all that stuff like that, and so then like Sony has to pay more for like that stuff then, which PlayStation. So like same thing with like Twitter. I feel like being the majority shareholder allows him to be like, man, I wish you guys would do this because like I own half of it. Like, you know, like it's pretty much mine. Like if he takes
Well,
that stock out and
I'm
like,
I'm sure he ain't just no shareholder. He is the boss.
well, no, he
Because
tried to become the boss and they said no.
no, that he the
He turned around and bought most of the company though.
yeah. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. He's the boss.
They
He
well, they
this,
offered him a seat on the board, and he
yes,
turned that down too.
yeah. That's like having a seat on the board of trustees. I was gonna.
Well, with
He
this,
by default, the man is the owner. He
pretty much.
muscle the company.
That's why people are like, there's so much talk about it because yeah, there's a lot of money he spent into it, but like he figured out a way to like to have control of these men. Like
Yeah,
board, like the whole board, he has most of the income board money. So it's like you have to please him in order to get your money. If he's not happy, you won't get your money. So they're gonna make him happy. So in turn,
And then the Twitter board had to do it, so he went to him with a proposal, and he said I mean, their stock has went up 50% or something like that since he technically bought the company. So he had to go to the Twitter board, the people in power, and say, "Hey, I know a way to make this bigger than what it is now." And because they had to agree at the price, he bought it at like $54 a share or something. So if in 6 months it's $60 a share, $70 a share, you know, everybody's made their money 10 times over. And he can just bring, you know, he dropped some exclusive stuff on there. Hey, I got a new rocket coming out. You know, something, you know.
Oh, I just came up with something. You know what?
you're a Tesla now. Like
He's about he I see what he's doing. He's gonna go over here and muscle the social media. He's coming after Mark Zuckerberg because Metaverse is huge steps forward. So if you know, he's probably thinking about his own version of Metaverse. Because that's a big deal. It's like you're creating a whole universe here. So he is Mr. Universe. You know, from outer space to on the planet. In the planet, he probably getting ready to show us what's going on up in Mars when they start living over there. You know, he's got a future plan.
Ain't nobody on Mars.
I know that. But they're getting ready. They want to get ready to go. So
I want to sign up and let them send me. I want to be one of these people on the astronaut going on SpaceX. Call me. If they send me somewhere, I tell you if it's real, or if they saying, hey, we'll give you a free Tesla and something else if you just go along with it and, you know, nod and shake.
I definitely want to go up there. Yeah. That's the thing. I literally want to go to space. And
everybody want to go to space.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody going, but
it's a real dream of people's. Like people really have that dream.
That's another topic for another day, but I don't know. Like I really want to go to space. Like if there was a way to go other than getting high, I would go.
Well, they cracking the what you call it? They orbiting.
Okay, they do like little orbit trips now, which I heard is pretty cool. Like you still get to experience like zero gravity. You got the tip of the atmosphere and all that stuff like that. And it's also like the cheapest way to get you back down.
Yeah. Hold on for a second.
But yeah, those are pretty good ones. I don't think him buying Twitter is gonna be that big of a deal though. Like I don't think he's gonna mess it up for people.
No, I don't think so.
Like
he might really start letting you. Twitter pretty wide open though.
Twitter, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like people you can go on Twitter and find some like whatever. So like
There's a whole nother world over in Twitter.
as far as like free speech and all that, like I feel like people can say whatever they want on Twitter. I've seen some crazy stuff and like
So
retweets, likes.
it's not like Instagram. There's no censorship on Twitter.
Oh
Oh
no,
no. If you
there's
don't have
full out.
Twitter, Twitter's the most funniest thing in the world. Like it's
It's full out rated X. I'll say
yeah.
that for
Really?
parental
Oh my,
ears on here.
like
It's
you can't.
rated X, Kev.
So then I would say like this in
Wow.
high school, for example. I'm not gonna put my boy's name out there, but in high school, I had my best friend. Like he came up to me, it was like I was just chilling. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm on Twitter." And I'm like, "Oh, like the other social media app." And this is like in high school, like sophomore year. Actually, no, senior year because I didn't get it to senior year. And I was like, "What do you use it for?" And he was like, "To be honest, I just look. There's like you can follow like Sports Center, like Bleacher Report, all those like Raider people. Like he's a Raiders fan. You can follow all like the sporting events people." And he was like, "And I use it for sports, and I use it to look at Instagram models." So I was looking through his page, and I was like, "Whoa." Some of the stuff that you can see on here is not like some of the stuff that like Instagram would kind of block from you.
You can be
And then
really
like there'll be a
free.
video of something you'd be like, whoa, like
Yeah,
that's
it's and it's really under. Well, I guess our generation was caught. Facebook intercepted us, and then Instagram really overpowered us. But this generation, the newer generation, is Twitter. I'm like, what? They was like, yeah, in high school, the students in high school are using Twitter.
yeah. As far
And
as like, social media, I feel like I would trade in everything for Twitter.
wow,
Like I would delete all of them. If I had to, like, oh, you have to pick one. Like, oh, Twitter. Like, no doubt, no hesitation. Like,
wow.
I could get, like, I do it all the time. Like, for example, like Instagram, I delete Instagram all the time. Like, I don't really care about Instagram, but like sometimes I
Yeah,
use them, like for people in
Instagram is
school and like connections. Like, oh, just follow me on Instagram. We'll get in touch. Then it's like, okay, now like for example, like my Twitter, it's not something I have like professionally kept. It's not like my LinkedIn account or anything like that. Like you go on my Twitter page, you're like, what the heck is this? And it's like, yo, like don't look at that. Like just don't look at my Twitter, but like go look at my Instagram, like for far professionally. That's why I haven't like deleted it. It's just something I don't use. Like as far as the pictures I have on there, it's like boom, like this is me. If you want to see pictures of me, blah blah blah. But like Twitter is something where like you never know. Like I might be drunk tweeting some stupid stuff, and I'm like say that, and like that gets a bunch of retweets and likes, and I'm like, yeah, this is who I am. Like
Right.
it's a different side of
You
me.
could be your real self on Twitter.
You say whatever you want on Twitter versus on Instagram or like
and you know what
family pictures versus pictures of me like flexing or something.
they need to go back and open that case up for Trump. And because at the end of the day, if it's supposed to be freedom of speech, he did nothing wrong. If you really want to define the definition, you can't really do that, because the rule is freedom of speech. I understand what the results of him, inciting things, but to really give the man the benefit of the doubt, I don't care whoever it was, it was, the rule is freedom of speech, and he is totally deleted off of a platform. He has a really good case, but they'll never let him win it. No judge.
Like I said, like Twitter is like a wild place. You can say whatever you want. So I feel like it's not like the fact that like there's other people who have said worse or continue to say worse things on Twitter than he said. But the thing is like the whole defense with Twitter is like, bro, you're the president. You can't do that. Like it's some normal like if someone like anyone, like you said, anyone else, you can say whatever you want on Twitter. Someone can take his tweets, copy and paste, and then post them, and it'll be totally fine. But like he himself cannot just have posted it. That's
well,
like because you see it, you can see.
You got to look at the rule of law. Nobody's above the law, right? And nobody's under the law. Well, we all under the law. So if just to say that is to, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just in theory, like Kev would say, if you go by the rules of if you define the rule book, he has freedom of speech. And
everybody has freedom of speech.
Huh? And he was taken off Twitter. So, I just figured I would. I
Like
don't
I
know why
said,
that came to mind.
but just like you said, like if someone took his tweets and tweeted them, they would not get banned, most likely. But it's because he was tweeting them and the amount of people he had following, like, but it doesn't like I said, Twitter's a crazy place, but it's just like just because of him, it was his name was under it. Like his ideas weren't what Twitter was tripping about; they were tripping off his name. Like,
Right, right.
you could tweet, you
But
go
but
stuff.
but to Trump too, he got them people a lot of money in his tenure.
Yeah.
Twitter was off. Matter of fact, he was pretty much the face of Twitter. Because Twitter wasn't really to me. I really wasn't nothing. I told you I was more Instagram as of late, and I don't even do that half the time.
Nah,
But
I've been Twitter since high school. Like Twitter's my main source of news, sports, entertainment, like everything.
It's a good
I go
open
on it to
platform.
find out the truth from the lies, the reals from the fake. Like you go on Twitter to find out. Like Twitter's my source of information and news. Like you said, you can follow who you want to follow. You can follow this side, that side, the far left, the far right. You can be in the middle. You can follow some Joe who doesn't know nothing. He has no idea what's going on. Like he just saying some stuff. Like
Mm.
so, like it's like I said, Twitter's like my main source of stuff. Like with the whole Trump thing, like I said, like if if someone else would have tweeted exactly what he said, they would not have tripped. But it's because he tweeted it, right or
right.
wrong.
Because it's
Like
Trump.
right or wrong, people on Twitter be saying some wild stuff. So like, kind of do what you want. So
Well, they shut him up, and so he's
that's
now over there
it's
with.
no, that's
Twitter.
funny.
I'm
Like
surprised. Well,
it made for like entertainment on Twitter still. Like same thing. Like I said, I think Twitter first is entertainment, and then like everything else. But like as far as like jokes being made about him getting kicked off were like hilarious on both sides. Like the people defending him, like sitting like people
I,
videos of him crying, and then like, oh, they took him off of Twitter. What am I gonna do now? And then the opposite side, people happy, and it's like this is all entertainment, is fun for everybody. Like they made money.
I'm glad you.
all of
I'm
it's
glad.
entertainment.
I'm glad you said something about that. And we can merge on a different note, but we got to talk about the slap today. When you
Yeah,
said, you
that
know,
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about.
For example, man, that was the as far as like days, I could tell you that there's like a few days in Twitter that are like legendary days in Twitter. Like
Yeah.
legendary in the fact that like for example, like the remix, the amount of stuff, like when like about once a month there's like a legendary day on Twitter, whether it be something they reverse from back before or just a accumulation of videos that someone has made. Like for example, when like of course the slap, like so many different videos and like the quickness of how many different videos and alternations and like background music people added to it and like that was a fun one of the funniest nights of my life. Just going on my phone and looking on Twitter. Like whenever you see
So,
something like that,
so
go to
talking about
Twitter.
the slap, right? So we're
Yeah.
talking about. I feel so. This is me. This is my opinion. After watching it, because I didn't watch it live. I'm not watching that live. I first saw it, I went, like threw me off. But then after everything happened, he won the award. He came up. He gave real passionate. I said it was fake. Like I'm convinced now that that wasn't a real slap.
Well,
I think it was
Like they're actors. Like everybody in that room is an actor. Are actors or Chris Rock? He does these. So or and then the cutaway to Will and Jada. They're actually laughing, kikiing.
yeah, that's what
And
I
next
was
thing you know, he's
confused
up
about.
to the stage. Chris Rock leans forward with his hands behind his back.
I don't think he was prepared to get slapped.
The slap was definitely real.
The slap was real.
It was
But-
real. I think I don't know what the heck. Like you said, when I looked at it, she was freaking laughing. He was laughing. Like, what can you say to me to get out my seat to go and slap this man on TV and totally embarrass yourself? I mean,
it was the look, I think, for me. Like,
Hey.
there's the Twitter. There's a shows a clip where like he laughs first, but she like looks at him
right.
and
Right.
like gives him like a little eyebrow and turns, and then all of a sudden he gets up. Like yeah, he didn't like look. I feel like yeah, she gave him a look, but he didn't. She didn't say anything.
Like
Now,
inside the car?
And see
I
the
don't think that
like they
What was under the hood?
was worth it, or like
Yeah,
he should have gotten it.
like they said, you know, Will ain't slapped the boy that's over there.
Obviously,
slapped
that's
They
what I'm
wasn't underneath the
saying.
car, so I mean, they
That's
should
what I'm
nobody been in the
Staying over there.
underneath the hood.
Like that's the part that got me.
He ain't slapped him yet.
He ain't touch Buddy.
He ain't
Buddy's been in the house taking
So
pictures with
dinner.
the kids.
Ain't said nothing. That's crazy.
Who would be under
Like
the car?
that.
Like
When I saw that, that's what got me. I was like, you're telling me that like he makes a joke, not like about the situation, but like a different joke about something like an old movie, and you go there and slap Buddy, but then yet like remember like Jada did the whole red table thing, and they talked
from
about
under
the
the engine part.
like,
Entanglement.
and just belittles Buddy, and like all this other stuff like that, and then yeah, like
They ain't had a key to
him
it.
like, oh, why aren't you for like standing up for me? It's like, bro, like you got me all the way messed up.
Yeah.
Like
I'm confused. You know, Chris Rock, I didn't know he even
Did
had
you call
brothers.
a tire shop or you going back over there?
oh
So
yeah.
brothers are ready to get on his head. Hey,
Like yeah, like the videos I saw, like, and then
But
like
you
you said,
said
like
it's
it was
smoking,
a fun day because they were talking about people like there's NFL players, basketball players, everybody saying like, I know I wouldn't stand up for someone else's
Right.
girl like that.
and
Like
there ain't never been no
it's
ever
like
smoke.
someone else's girl. But then it's like, yeah,
Life.
because Will Smith, that's not Will Smith girl.
And they
Like
shouldn't
that's
have been under the
his girl,
under the
his
hood.
girl, like multiple people. So that had me. It was pretty funny day, like for Twitter.
Did you try to pop the hood to see if look under there?
But,
yeah, that was crazy, man. I'm waiting to see who's gonna, you know, get the reveal story. You know, when he comes back and talk about it. They said they said people gonna have to really pay him
to go and do it. See,
yeah.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, like if I'm him, yeah, because he probably like they try to come after him for everything. Like they're trying to like make sure he don't like go to the Oscars. He's been banned from the Oscars for a few years and like
10 years.
Yeah, like all that stuff like that. So they're coming after him financially. So
now and then Netflix canceled his shows too. That's hurtful. I thought he was gonna say, you know, Hollywood kicked me out, but I can go back over here. But yeah, he's done with that. I was finna say something about Chris, but I forgot.
But I think he took that like a champ. Like I feel like he did the right thing, even though in the moment, like I feel like he took the blunt of all the hatred or like the jokes on Twitter and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I kind of like you to escalate the situation and what hit him back. I don't know like how that was gonna go.
No,
like,
that's a good idea. I mean, the best you can do is stand there, take that. It was already unexpected, and then adrenaline rush. I'm sure every thought on the planet came through Chris Rock's head. He probably thought he was supposed to be acting.
Yeah,
he probably like, damn, y'all ain't tell me this was part of the show type thing.
Like I said, like to me, the joke wasn't bad. Like it wasn't that bad for him to one to laugh, but then to see the look your lady gives you and to react so late. Like he had Chris Rock in the video, like he already moved on to the next thing. Like he's about to announce something else, and he comes up and he's like, "Oh wait, ho, like what are we doing here?" And then he gets slapped, and he's like, "Wow, like that's like he saw true emotions." He was like, "That was not expected. Like that was not supposed to happen." Like, well, here we are.
Y'all need to check your man out.
Yeah, like what's wrong with Buddy? Like,
yeah, I mean the crazy thing is some people are calling for the actual Oscar return. Like it need to be returned. They get that's what they really want. But you know, will it do any justice? I mean, at that point, you done let something, you know, so petty destroy the entire. Like even what they were saying about the Serena Williams, the twins, that was the movie. So now if you take that Oscar, you're taking their
shine.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's nothing they just want to just snag. You know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're trying to figure a way to pretty much punish him without punishing like the movie. But you know, him being the main dude in the movie, it's like they're not gonna want to run that movie. You know, like HBO or Netflix, somebody's not gonna want to buy that movie to show it out once it gets to the theaters. So
you know, was he paid? Was this an undercover job? Was this something? Because you got to think now. Let's look at it. You got the best movie, right? Or he getting pretty much that's the best movie if you get that award. So you know, just conspiracy purposes. Mm-hmm. Is this a white crime? Like it's a black movie. We're the best, and then you got a black person did a white person incite will.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this because like I'll say this situation. I don't think that it was planned, but I for sure think that once it happened, they're gonna do everything they can to try to. That's why I said they're gonna pull the off. They want the Oscar back. They want to do everything in their power to be like, oh, this is bad. But then yet, like a few years ago, I don't know if it was the Oscars or the Golden Globes, but like they had this one comedian dude like talk about like Harvey Weinstein and all that stuff like that. Like, oh, y'all allowed him back in here after he did some crazy stuff. So it was like, y'all can't, like two different situations, but still, like you're gonna tell me that like pedophilia is not as bad as like slapping the dude. Like you're telling me that like, oh, we're allowing that to happen behind closed doors, but like this can't happen. Like
right.
Like just because it never happened before doesn't mean like, oh, like this is now the worst thing that ever happened to the Oscars. And people are like, y'all let him like multiple years and years. Like,
let me say this is going to be the most talked about award show forever now because
until it's topped. Like before then, it was like Kanye West taking the Grammys from Taylor Swift. Like it was another brother doing some stuff.
They freaking made millions and billions of dollars. Probably their ratings went through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was bad publicity, but it was good publicity.
Right, like you said, like was it something that I think was planned? Like no, but I think like after the fact, they're like, oh, we're gonna take advantage of this the best way possible because like we're gonna try to keep that, you know, like negative.
Yeah,
like you said, like memes, like comedy shows, everything like went up. Like Chris Rock's sales went through the roof. Like Will Smith took a dent, but like you know, what if he was paid under the table beforehand to not get any like this after money like stuff? Like you said, Chris Rock's brothers, yeah, they all do they do comedy. I've seen some of this before. It's kind of funny. Like I feel like some of them take like, because I feel like, you know, Chris Rock was the TV like grown ups, like the one that like made it on there, while everyone else was still doing like their undercover or like local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Saying like you said, like as far as jokes and stuff like that, like had a similar flow, but like you could tell that Chris Rock had to eventually play the role, while others like I'm gonna stay how it is. Like you see Chris Rock sometimes would change the role, but again like taking shots, but like change how he had to make his jokes and what kind of jokes he made once he made it to a certain level.
Yeah.
And like his brothers remind me of like a younger version of him. Like some of his like older stuff before the movies, like that's what I feel like his brother was, which is
Well,
good. Like that was funny.
they're not they're not, you know, censoring their jokes, right? Because you can't sit up on the front row. Like, Peas was going crazy, boy. She don't never need to sit on the front row again.
Yeah.
You know, she just need to, you know, relax.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gonna. So what happened when Will talk crap about people on the front? He done pick people out of the crowd multiple. That's what I like about it, because now it's like,
oh yeah,
you gotta, you know, you ain't. It took the fun out of it, really, because now people are gonna be more timid telling jokes about somebody.
But then the thing is, like, there's so many, like, I know after the slap, there's so many videos that people pull together. It's like, Will Smith, like, hating on people who do stuff like that. He's like, oh, I pride myself on never letting a joke or, like, a tweet ever make me upset. And then, like, boom. And then, like, he's like, oh, I took that whole, and, like, I don't let any man's word just, like, hurt me or affect me, even if it has to do with me or my family, with the whole, like, entanglement situation. And then, yeah, like, he said a joke about a movie, and then you go out there and slap him. But like, see, I'm like, you're just a hypocrite all like every phase of the way. It's like
this guy, like,
it was a bad look for sure.
bad, yeah,
it was a bad look. And I like when it said, like, at first I was laughing at it like all over Twitter. Like I said, it was one of the funniest days of Twitter. Then like as a fact, I'm like, damn, like they're gonna use this to make brothers look bad for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, damn, like, yes, entertainment, because you know that's what it is. But
my thing is they don't even care about each other. It's a joke of a relationship. Yeah. So you're going to do all of this
for something that you were like, yeah, nah.
And then you I guess you had to, and really, to be honest with you, like, he knew he messed up. So why not just slap the man? Nobody knew what the hell was going on any damn ways. And let's talk about this after. He messed up when he started hollering on them people's TV now. And
afterward? Nah.
Yeah. No, doing the thing.
Part of it.
Like, let the slap go good. Everybody was laughing at the slap. They was like, oh, this is some good entertainment. Till they realized he was serious, because he's hollering up, keep my wife's name.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you, like, that, like, unless he said that earlier, I feel like he cannot say that now. Like, I'm telling, like,
bro, it was famous preachers, Dr. Jamal Bryant in Atlanta.
Like, quoting Buddy now? Like, quoting him now?
No, this dude literally had a sermon talking about keep my wife out your mouth. That's crazy, man. Everybody went in on this guy.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy thing. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, when I saw that, I was like, man, I said I hurt him. Like, it took a dent on him, but he gonna learn from that. But let's see what else we got. So I'm gonna ask you this then, Joe. We'll change the topic a little bit. We're gonna move on a little bit. Y'all got a first round draft pick, Tampa?
I haven't really even been in depth with the
draft
with our staff. Mm-hmm. I was okay when Brady came back. I hadn't really dissected it. I said I am going to. I need to do so. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it looked like we're gonna be the typical Bucks. You know, Super Bowl contenders, champions.
Typical Bucks.
Yeah, the typical Bucks.
That's funny. But no, I know, so that's coming up. But before we get into football, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving got swept in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's something. Like, Jason Tatum guarding Kevin Durant all 4 games, and Buddy was shooting like 7 of 14, 9 of 13. I think it was like 13 of 26. Like Jason Tatum being that dude, stepping up and guarding
Oh,
KD. All
Tatum
4
looked
games.
nice. I
Yeah.
was shocked. I didn't watch much of Boston season. I see what they talking about.
Like I
And
didn't really watch
all
all
those boys,
year.
all of them tall.
Because like for me, like honestly, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna wait to the playoffs because like you already know. I thought I already knew. Like my opinion, if the Lakers would have made the playoffs, they would have been cool because they got a bunch of vets. But like them dudes was way too old to play 82 games. Like that was dumb. That was dumb of them. So then I was like, okay, bet. Like I didn't think the Warriors are gonna come on.
Warriors, they back at it, boy.
I thought the
They my
Nets was
favorite
gonna
in the
go.
playoffs. They my favorite in the playoffs now, other than
No,
Miami.
they got the old school Warriors vibe right now. Like they looking like the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson, Curry, Draymond, like that trio right there. They got Iguodala back. I forgot about that. So like
I was looking at that team the other day. How in the heck do they keep that team together?
it's just I feel like just like the Spurs and the Patriots, like man, like if you want to win, like these dudes are not taking like top dollar. Because
Right.
at the same time Curry got his contract, the dude from the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley, got his contract. Mike
Wow.
Conley got $100 million contract.
Wow.
That was some years ago. Like it was, people have surpassed it and stuff like now. But I'm just saying, like Curry didn't take no $100 million contract, but Mike Conley took $100 million contract. Like,
Yeah.
it's the buddy, but like Mike Conley took $100 million contract, while Curry did not. Took way less.
Well, they got 4 championships, right?
They got
3?
They got one with KD. They got one before KD. I don't know. I want to say they got 3. They got 3.
Yeah, it's 3 at least. It's 3.
got
Well,
3.
Steph got 3. Him and
the trio got 3 together. So
yeah, they because I had them on track surpassing LeBron.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As far as like the dynasty lingo, they had
just ranked.
Because I think they went. Because I mean, Braun went 7 in a row, and he only got. He went like 9 or whatever. Like 4.
He found 4.
Because so they got 3. They got 3 for sure by themselves.
He ain't gonna. I love LeBron, but I'm a Jordan fan, so I think he's gonna get anywhere near the championships. I think he's gonna retire at 4 and just be. He's gonna because that's the only thing that's driving this guy.
He said it now. Like as far as like
he would literally
championships no more. Like I think he went for like pretty much everything else. Like not gonna get championships because I feel like he already lost. He wanted like the whole Jordan LeBron debate as far as championships. I feel like he lost those because he lost the championship. Like Jordan never lost one, so it's like like in some people's eyes you automatically lose. So he's like now his career. I feel like before he was trying to fight, he was like, I'm gonna get as many as possible. Like I'm gonna try to one up. Now I feel like he's going like this because he's so close. Like he did like the assists this year. He's like the league leader in assists and points. He's like 3rd place. Like I think he's gonna try for all those like little as stat wise records. As far as championships, like I said, like he's on the other side of his career and like
he might really have to. I think he'll probably get desperate enough to team up with KD.
I would think so.
Or he'll go over there and jump on the Warriors team.
He said he wanted to play with Curry, but Curry said that I was watching this the other day. Curry was like, it's a great idea. And like, of course, like playing an all-star game with them, like you see the potential and like all this stuff.
I wouldn't want to see that.
But it's like something that's like at this point of Curry's career, he's like, dude, I can still do this, without you.
Right.
Like I don't want to team with me yet. I don't think I'm slowing down yet. Like Curry's not slowing down yet. So he was like, I don't need to team up with you yet. Like if I was like, I got hurt, or like shots a little off, like, hey, I'm gonna go team with LeBron, it's gonna be cake. But like since Curry still got it, like he's like, man, I'm cool. Like I'll wait.
LeBron is he's gonna have to get on he might go over there and get on the team with Harden. But what I was gonna say is I do believe that LeBron locker room is very toxic.
You
I
think
I,
so?
I think so. It's because you play for the Los Angeles, pretty much LeBron James. That's his team. You
Yeah.
know, he's the team. Because so when you go play with like I knew Westbrook wasn't going to work. I already knew that. I knew that when it first started that was not going to work.
Yeah.
And those two together, and I guess they said that he doesn't want to leave
Hmm.
Westbrook. That's a mess over there, man.
Yeah. But then like I think it's like a combination of a bunch of things. Like that team was super old, and also like as a LeBron fan, I feel like that team was not a LeBron championship team. Like I feel like you can
He don't
see the
feel
team
that
like
way.
week
He feel-
one, like, day one, you're like, if this team has shooters around LeBron, they're going to win the championship.
he don't feel that way though. And you know what? It's getting even the spread is getting wider, but I think because he said even this on this thing, he said this sucks, I'm bored, I'm not missing the playoffs no more. You
Mhm.
may be missing the playoffs a few more times with the talent that's now playing in the NBA is really like I'm impressed, like because
Like the Celtics grew up.
for a while it was like the league is declining, these people just anybody's just on the court, but they really professionals out there.
You said the Celtics grew up because like LeBron. I mean, LeBron been going against the Celtics for like forever, and they was always like right up like neck and neck, neck and neck. And it's like, oh, like if they win that series, always feel like that Celtics team could win the championship because like they're giving LeBron some fits and like they showing like they'd be a good team. They
Yeah,
did this like Taysom grew up like he guarding KD like a 7-footer who could shoot and like he stepped up. Like the rest of his team stepped up, so they still making plays. So it's like there's a lot of like I said, a lot of talent. Like the
yeah.
Bucks and Giannis, like that dude's a freak of nature. Like
And,
nobody
and,
can really stop him. Like
and normally it's a lopsided, but normally it's the West coming out with some flame.
mhm,
This year is the East.
yeah.
Whoever come out the East, man, whoo, that's pretty much it. I'm calling the East this year. You got Miami on fire. You got Boston on fire. And then you got, isn't the 76ers over there? Oh, my goodness.
And the Celtics.
It, yeah, I said it. I said Boston
Oh,
first.
yeah. Like
Boston, Sixers, Heat. The East is on fire, man.
mhm.
Everybody over there is killing it right now. The West, I think Utah. You got Utah looking decent.
Utah ugly though. I don't think Utah gonna make it. Utah, the Mavs. Uh, what else? You got the Warriors. Can't forget about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Now, man, I'm sorry. Warriors. If the Warriors get to the final, they're gonna win the championship. I'm going with the Warriors. Now they play in Miami. That's gonna be a tough house to be in. I
who's
don't
the
know.
Bulls? Who are the Bulls playing against?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Miami.
Yeah, they are playing Miami. Miami
Oh,
finna beat them. I think
yeah.
they just.
Because I was
It's
trying to think of like that's a pretty good team, but I think they're playing somebody who they can't beat, and it's the Heat.
yeah,
Like they match up pretty well. It's a good series, but like the Heat just Jimmy Butler and them just it's a better group.
yeah,
It's a better
yeah.
grouping over there. But yeah, it's like man, like let's see because I want to see what the playoffs are looking right now, like what the numbers. Because I know
It,
the
it.
Sixers last year are my team that I picked as a like a dark horse that I would bet, but they keep losing. Oh, they got the Pelicans and the Suns.
Oh wow.
That series decided 2-2. Uh, you got the Timberwolves and Grizzlies. That's
Mm-hmm.
tied 2-2. And then oh no, my bad. The Heat and the Hawks. The Heat and the Hawks. And the Heat are up 3-1 on that
Yeah.
one. So then you got what else? So then the Bulls and Bucks. Milwaukee got them 3-1. Nuggets and Warriors. Uh that's that's the Warriors 3-1 right now on that.
Yeah.
And then the Sixers and the Sixers and the
Let,
Raptors. Are
let's
the
talk
two.
about let's talk about Harden over there.
Mhm.
Is it? You know what? After you start listening to those and we start talking about it, it may still. I think he's going to hit a dead end again. If you're
I think
facing,
he might be a dead end.
huh?
I think he might be the dead end.
Yeah, they facing a dead end because you can come on out the East, but if you playing the Warriors, bro, sit back down. It's not gonna be easy. And them boys they don't give a damn who on your team. They don't. And then that's another thing. He ain't used to that. Wait, have you been to the finals yet? At all? He
No,
lost.
James Harden is really great. I feel like as far as any team, any player in the league, James Harden is the one player, one superstar has choked every time in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
On
has
the
he ever?
Rockets, OKC, like no,
He went to the finals with OKC, right?
yeah, with KD and Westbrook.
Yeah. So by himself with a team that ain't been to no finals before, I don't know if anybody on the roster been to a final. I need to go look at their roster, but
Yeah.
I don't think an experienced Warriors team, would have finally got their roster back on the court is going to lose.
Oh no, yeah. That's what I said. Like they think they're like you said, like the trio of Curry, Draymond, and Klay Thompson. Like they and then I would even put like he's not even that good, but I would even throw Iguodala back in that mix as far as like
yeah,
history and experience in the playoffs. Like
yeah. So I'm gonna call mines right now. I am very impressed. Although the freaking although they didn't have a good series, it wasn't a good team with Katie and them. But I'm gonna call Boston out of the East, and of course Warriors out of the West. That's gonna be a good series. It might go to 7, but I totally give that team respect because of their defense. I have never seen
so.
Yeah.
So this is how their bracket would go. So Boston, of course, they swept the Nets. If Boston will play the winner of Milwaukee and Chicago.
That's an easy lay down.
Milwaukee with Giannis, that's interesting.
Bro,
Now,
them boys defense out there. Let me say why. I just seen this team totally shut KD down. To me, hands down the best player in the NBA. To me. But they totally shut him down 4 games in a row. Mm-hmm. And I understand. And you think they did that to KD? They ain't finna really mess with Giannis. Those guys are
2 different people.
Yeah, but it's the scheme. The coach really coached that up, man. They literally was
against Brook. Like the thing is, like I said, Giannis don't really play a scheme. Like he just runs straight and jump over. He taller than everybody. Like
right.
If they have the same, like they could, of course, there's a scheme to defend Giannis.
Yeah.
But then like they showed like last year in the finals, like they did everything they could to stop Giannis, and then they stopped him.
Listen,
they just turned around and started doing.
Boston got a new coach. This is the first year guy. He's excited, and they playing with a different energy this year. So that defense, unless I be proved wrong, they might sweep everybody they playing like that. Yeah. That defense.
They played great, like all around. Like everybody contributed in. Marcus Smart playing defense too. So it wasn't like they just got one dude who could just play defense. They got multiple. Al Horford playing again. Like I was watching that.
I love seeing him out there.
Like Al Horford out there. Like
people leave him wide open. They done lost their mind, man. Guy, he plays so proper. He reminds me of a Tim Duncan kind of guy.
Yeah, just does like goes to a spot, catch the ball, shoot it, make it, go back on defense. It's like damn, like
fundamentals. It's not even pretty. It's not even
difficult for
basic, but it works.
You just go down there, get a bucket, go back on defense. Like that's what you do. So then okay, that's pretty good. So then so Boston will probably play against Milwaukee. It looks like the 76ers will play against Miami.
Yeah. Can I ask a question real quick while it's on my head?
What's up?
Why and we can come back to the list. But going back and watching that last game, why in the hell have they been sitting Griffin? Has he
Oh,
been hurt?
I just think that. Well, same thing with Ben Simmons. Like the team is weird right now. Like there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving played half the year. Like there's a bunch of weird stuff that was going on in that team that like no one really knows why.
yeah, it was a weird little, and it
Like
doesn't look. It
it's
don't look
weird.
like KD was happy.
No, like it doesn't like it. Like yes, like that team is like a bunch of stars, a bunch of dudes who can hoop when they get into the game, but their lineups or coaching or whatever like that, like they don't something. Like so there's no chemistry. Like Kyrie
Yeah,
was playing half the year. KD was hurt too. KD came back. I don't really know like when they come out, who's their like I know they got some other superstars. They got the superstars on that team, but like when they come out, who runs that? And who run their offense when they both off the court? Because before I'd be like James Harden. Because that's what they were doing. Like and it was working. Like James Harden would just like when KD would come out, James Harden would take control and they was winning games like that. But like who's the other ball handler that like you trust when they
right.
out? And that's what happened. Like as soon as KD came out, like even though KD was missing, like as soon as KD came out, they would go on runs because it was like we don't have to. Taysom doesn't have to like spend all his time guarding this dude, all his energy guarding this dude. Now
Now
he's
was
buckets.
it Kyrie's fault that Boston was horrible the time he was there? Because they looked great to me.
Uh, I don't know. Like for example, like I feel like in the East, LeBron had to always go through the Celtics like forever. And
Mm-hmm.
I always say that like the Celtics, every time I would watch the games, I'm like, the Celtics are a really good team, but they're
Mm-hmm.
just playing against LeBron. If it was anybody else, I think the Celtics would have won. Now I've been saying that for years now because I feel like the Celtics have been like Jason Tatum, Brown, and like that company Celtics, they've been nasty for a minute. Like
That team is a really good team because there's
yeah,
really
they've been good for a while. Like they just
but it's really no outstanding superstar. It's like a unit. They just got a good unit. Tatum has not been this good before.
well, like not this. I feel like he's doing this like, but like kind of the same thing you said. Like it's a unit, it's a team. Because
Yeah.
like, I feel like not that he hasn't done it before, but it's like he's doing this. I've seen him do it before, but like he just doesn't do it every game in and game out. Like he could do it. Like I believe he can, but it's like
They're
you need
playing
that game 7. It's like
they're playing like if I had to tell you how compare a team that they're playing like it's those Warriors. Like when they start first winning them championships back in the day, it was a team unit. Because again, nobody really knew who Steph Curry was, back in the day, till he started firing up. You see this guy in the finals and playoffs, and
right.
he's Mr. 3-point man himself.
Mhm.
That's when I started hearing about. So the same with this team, they playing as a unit.
Yeah, the whole team's like you said, the whole because like that's a tough. Like I would say that like going against the Nets in the playoffs, I thought before the playoffs started they were just going to run through everything. Like the same results in reverse.
Me too.
So
Me
like
too.
for them to be like, so they're not as. I mean, they're young because like I think Tatum's like 23 now, but like I said,
Yeah.
he been playing LeBron since he was like 18. Like he was going against him in the West Eastern Conference since like 18. So
Oh
I'm like
wow.
the Celtics have been nice in my opinion. The Celtics have been nice, but like they always just they go up against like a LeBron or they go against like another. They go against like the Heat LeBron, the Cavs LeBron. Like they just go against Buddy and like not very good. Or like they would against Toronto with when they had Kawhi that one year and they won the chip. Like that's unfortunate. Like, but the team that beat you also won the chip. So like in like Boston's like last 6 years, I think the team who beats Boston wins the championship. So like
Yeah.
there's been
It-
like even with that's why they got Kyrie's like, oh, we need a closer because like we're in every game, but we just lose at the very end. Like
yeah.
because they've always had defense. They've always had like a unit. They work pretty well together, but they didn't have that dude. So they went. They got Kyrie. They don't feel like that was like one of the worst teams that they had. But I think that was because it could have been Kyrie. Like I think Buddy kind of has like that stigma like around him now. Like after he left, like because he thought he was. I don't know. I thought Kyrie was really like a lot better than he. Like he's still good. Don't get me wrong, but as far as like a team player, I thought he was more of a team player than he made out to be.
He's to me, he is he looked like he's losing it right now. he ain't in it at all. I watched him. It's like he was just not there. His presence,
Like the New York media, I think.
What'd you say?
I think he's one of the people who wants the big attention in media, but like does not deal with it when they're negative. Like as soon as someone says something about him, like he then like gets all like philosophical and weird about it and all this other stuff like that. But
yeah,
like he's the one dude I feel like craves attention, but as soon as it turns negative, like he has a different intonation on it, a different tone. He's this and that. So we'll see. But it's some good. Like I don't know. Like you said, the Nets had some people on their team that were pretty good, pretty nasty. Like swept. Never saw that coming, and especially swept. And KD and Kyrie played all 4 games healthy. Like they weren't hurt.
And then you lost home, both home games.
They were not hurt. Like they played all 4 games. Like it was different. Like hamstring or something. Like
the coach really now that, and see sometimes he could have got away with it, but you done showed people. You had help this whole time. Why haven't Griffin been playing? This guy, he's a detour. If anything, even if he sucks, like he's a detour. Why you like he pulled some other people off the bench. I didn't watch the last game, but from what I saw, he pulled a bunch of other people off the bench, and it's like, why have you been doing this?
Griffin was hitting shots as soon as he came off the bench and stuff like that. Like
seriously, literally, that's what I was saying.
So like I said, I don't know. It's weird. Like you said, there's some talent on that team. Is why it didn't work. Like who knows?
They just no energy, man. It was like they was flat. It was like nothing.
I think they.
And matter of fact, I'm pissed because I watched some games and they were up 15, and you'd be like, "Oh,
in the regular season, they like with or without, like they." I think they just thought they had it. Because like I said, during the regular season, like they was putting up numbers against anybody. Like
no, they did it in the first game. They were up like by 20 or something crazy, and then the second game, the same scenario. They was up 15.
Oh yeah, they've had leads in every game. Yeah,
and matter of fact, one of them games they led the entire game to the fourth quarter. Was like 7 minutes in the game, and Boston took their first lead of the game.
Like that was the one they won, like on the last second field goal.
Yeah, and when I because I was driving somewhere else, I'm like, man, let me check the score. And I said, wait a minute, this game is this close. This is crazy, dude. And then it was like 5 seconds left or some craziness, and I refreshed the search bar and it said they lost by a point. I'm like, wow.
I saw the second. I didn't watch the first game, and then because of the first game how it ended, I watched the second game. And like you said, like the Nets during the game, like. During like a quarter or two, like they looked like the regular Nets. Like both was hitting threes, contested, like it was nothing. But then like for as much as I thought they had, like their bench sometimes they were too like reliant on. Like I think it was just like a team. Like I think that chemistry is where it's off. Like as far as like I feel like the notion that I feel like people used to get all the time, like the LeBron fear factor. It's like, right. Okay, I'm LeBron James. I'm gonna score every time. But if I pass it to you, you're expected to pretty much make the shot. Like, right. You don't. You get like even if you don't get it from him, you get looks from other people. Like, yeah. I mean, he gave you that. He gave that up for you. Like, and you missed it. Like, he trusted you and you didn't. So it's like same thing with KD and Kyrie. Is like, you want them to go to work because you're like these are our dudes. And this is how they go to work. But it's like. You can't just sit in the corner for 3 quarters and then like 4th quarter it's like here go. And it's like I mean just because that's what was happening too. Like there's a lot of stuff like KD didn't shoot in multiple games, shot like 1 or less than 5 shots in the 4th quarter.
Right.
If I'm on the bench, if I'm the Nets, I'm like, yo, 4th quarter, like I'll take cover every other quarter, but KD, like You're
You got
probably
to.
good when you get the ball, like
He
whether
was
you
not.
feel it or not. Like
And
you're
see,
so
that's
tall.
where his downfall is going to be. You know, if he don't win another championship, you know, he's going to have to owe them championships back to freaking the Warriors.
Oh yeah, people were talking
Give
about that today. I was
us,
watching it today.
give
Stephen A.
us
and
our championship back. Like
like
we'll need.
Stephen A. and them. He was talking because he was like, oh, he wanted to prove to the world that he could win without Curry and them, and then like left. Got his own little super team within the Nets and all that stuff like that. And then it's like, because people were talking like all these other new super teams. Like for example, like Brown won one after he left. Like after he
Yeah,
left Wade and them because he was like, oh, this is when you made it. Curry and them won before they even got KD, and then they
yeah,
added Buddy. So it's like it's not like they beat LeBron. So it wasn't like Curry's like little legacies. Like no, he beat the GOAT. Like he's kind of cool with it. Like
yeah.
he's cool with himself. Everyone else has done it by themselves. KD is like that doesn't really count. Like you said, like they were like that's why I feel like that championship. I feel like the stigma is like they were 72 and like oh that was one of the greatest teams ever.
Right,
Like can't tell me that that team wasn't good before he got there. Like yeah they won a championship, but they should have won the year before too. So then
right.
Buddy leaves like oh like I was now he was the heart and soul, but like I could do it by myself too. You got to show you could do it. Or it's like
He hasn't
Stephen
done.
Smith was blowing him up like today. He was talking mad stuff. So
He hasn't done it with OKC, and he
you know
hasn't.
they should have stayed with OKC like Westbrook, Harden, and that would have been a trio. That would have been a
That,
trio.
that was a trio, but you
They
can't
were
play.
scared. They got scared out. I'm like, I would
You,
have ran it back.
bro, you
It's
can't
screen
play.
too.
Westbrook is a wild guy, man. You just
Yeah, but I even feel
playing
like before, because even
playing.
before like, the beginning,
He needs to be on a development team
he
where
was on
he
the development team.
huh?
He was on the development team.
Which one?
Uh, damn, the Lakers were a retirement home team. He was on the what the
That,
Rockets before then, or the Wizards with John Wall.
yeah, he need to go over there and play with the Pelicans or somebody.
No, the
Actually,
Pelicans might beat the Suns. The
yeah,
Pelicans might mess around and beat the Suns now.
yeah. I wasn't even mean to give him that much. He need to go over there with the Hornets or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
so that's crazy because the Pelicans got Zion Williamson on the bench. You seen that, right? But he be doing windmill dunks before pregame, but then they don't let him play.
right.
Like, have you seen those videos?
No,
Like Zion Williamson is not supposed to be playing because he's hurt. This dude, before every playoff game so far, he's participated in warm-ups and done like a windmill between the legs dunk. And then everyone's like, what you doing? Like, why aren't you playing? It's a playoffs. Like,
right.
if you can do that, if you're healthy enough to attempt that in layup lines, you should
Yeah,
play 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You should suit up. And you're Zion Will, like, like no dude, you're like a second year, third year player, I don't even know, but like, come on now, like you got picked like first overall, you got all this hype out of high school, out of college, like
right,
you ain't gonna play nothing, like no, like because all year he didn't play, like all year they've been keeping him out, and then now they made the playoffs, and people were saying like, oh, they were trying to keep him out to try to get a better draft pick, and then they messed up and ended up making the playoffs, and now they're like, oh, well, he's still hurt for the year, and it's like, oh, he looked like he could play, like he was like, bro, let me play, like we made the playoffs now, like now these games are worth it, like if you didn't want me to play in the regular season, like whatever, I get that, but like now these, are we playing for something, like.
I mean, did they say he's likely to return or he's out for the season?
There's been like a bunch of mixed messages all year long. There's been like some things been like, oh, he's done for the year, or like he might play like after the All-Star break, and then like after the All-Star break, they're sort of like he started like no, I think he started like practicing basketball after the All-Star break, and then it's like, oh, maybe by the playing game he'll get play and get his first few like reps, and then practice and stuff like that, and then now like it's playoffs, and it was now the series is tied 2-2, and he's not suiting up yet. Yet, like I said, he's been doing all these stuff in the layup lines, like warming up like normal, like. So that's something that's interesting because I'm like, if I'm the Pelicans, like we get a chance to win the series, like.
Oh, the owners are saying something. I just wonder what the owners are saying.
Yeah, I mean they tell him not to play, like they won't let him suit up.
Well, that mean so if the owners ain't mad, then because at the end of the day, that's their assets. You know, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And the day
That's,
like this, if he gets more healthy for next year, like
yeah,
I
they
didn't
need.
understand that
They,
part.
they already hate to see what he's sitting on the bench and making all that money now. They definitely don't want to hear no more excuses because
Mhm.
they far from paying him off.
Yeah. But then like I don't know if I'm them too though, on the same time, like bro, like now we in the playoffs. Like you might as well suit up now. Like you have a chance. Like you said, this is the number one. The Suns, the number one seed in the West. Like the Suns when healthy, when Devin Booker's healthy, like
And it's a tied series.
it's 2-2 now. They just tied
Wow.
it up. Yeah.
So
Well,
man,
Devin Booker's missed the last 2 games, so
okay.
they shot up 2-0. Devin Booker was killing it, had hamstring issues, and then they
Mm,
went back. And now it's 2-2. So now I'm like, it went from like, ooh, looking like the Nets to like now you tied 2-2 in a series the first round. Like you're the 8 seed, like yeah, you're gonna have an uphill battle. You're gonna have to play everybody up, but like to get past the Suns, like the
yeah.
Suns are nice. Like in the West, like when Devin Booker's healthy, that's why like I feel like not really talking about talk about the Warriors more because like Devin Booker's nice. Like he's like dropping 34 a game like it's nothing. Like and doing it all different types of ways. So it's like that's another group that could have did it, but
Yeah.
like we'll see how if like his hamstring comes back. But if they play Zion, I feel like that's a different matchup that like no one was prepared for all year. Like
And they might bring him off. You know, if they get this. Now they might be doing this. They might be saying, "Well, listen, we can get past the Suns. He gonna suit up in the playoffs."
okay, but the Nets said that about Ben Simmons. We're gonna get past the Celtics, and then Ben Simmons is gonna come back next series, and they got swept.
Man
So
was, man was too busy being clean out there.
Ben Simmons also got. They was talking about him pretty tough too. I thought that was pretty funny.
Man was clean every game.
And then the last game, he didn't want to sit on the bench because his back hurt. I thought that was just too funny.
His back, his pride hurt.
You
So
back? No. But yeah, that's crazy. Like they got. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like there's a lot of interesting series. Like I feel like after that first game, like this round of playoffs, I'm like, this is better than I thought. More interesting than I thought they were gonna be.
yeah,
Because
the game
like the
definitely been.
Nets were supposed to still be here. Like the Heat, they all right. They're playing against the Hawks, but that's a matchup they should win. Dallas and Utah, that's a weird series.
Yeah,
Utah's gonna win that. Donovan.
That team's kind of weird. I feel
Utah been weird.
like I feel like especially since also the same thing with Utah, like with Dallas, Luka didn't play the first 2 games, and Dallas leads 3-2. So that makes me seem that Utah's not ready because there's no one else is on Dallas no more. Like they traded Porzingis, it's just Luka. So the fact that they actually down 3-2 in the series, I'm like, yeah, actually gotta do a little bit better on that one though. But let's see.
The tow truck company busted the radiator on the car.
When they were like towing it?
She started up the car and radiator fluid just started coming out.
Oh. They got insurance?
The tow truck company?
Yeah.
It's US.
Oh. They didn't broke your stuff. That's crazy. So you went from a tire to that's a lot.
Now they gotta tow it 100 and some miles back to Memphis to the Porsche dealer so they can fix the radiator.
That's
Oh,
nutty.
wow.
Hold on. I gotta go back again. They on the phone. I'll be
See, that's nutty. Tow truck company messed up the radio in the car.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. That's an expensive mess up right there. That's
Yes, very expensive mess up.
the whole radiator. Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno. But yeah,
Cool, man. I think this was a really good session here. Are you able to save these things?
yeah, I could save them. And this one's actually on YouTube. But we're gonna do like we're gonna be able to like check it out later and stuff like that to see how it goes.
Yeah,
Like the audio and all that.
or editing. I got an editing guy, but I know he's slammed right now because he's doing graduation photos. Are we able to edit these things to
Yeah,
our
we'll be able to edit them and stuff like that so we can see them before next time.
okay. You know.
But yeah, it was pretty good. Actually, I'll just end the live portion
Okay.
and then